Every aid agency in the world needs fuel for those trucks that are delivering that food, fuel for that generator that's running that hospital. All those things don't take a lot of fuel, but it's a matter of getting it and getting it to them as rapidly as possible in that disaster. And that's what we do. Fuel Relief Fund is an international nonprofit organization that provides free fuel after major natural disasters.
People don't realize how important fuel is to the emergency relief effort, and we've proven it time and time again.
We're giving free gasoline, diesel, heating oil, propane, coal. We look at ourselves as an emergency response team that gets there as rapidly as possible, searches out that fuel, and give it to the international aid agencies, the hospitals, water treatment plants. And once we have those mechanisms operating properly, then we start getting it out to the people themselves. Picking one story, that's just too difficult. There's so many. In Haiti, there was a light stand for 50,000 people. We lifted up the light stand and saw that it was half full of fuel. And one of the Haitian gentlemen was living in the tent right next to it, said that it was broken. We filled it up with fuel. The sun was just setting, it was starting to get dark, and we were able to fire this thing up, and this light stand with 4 beams was now shining light over 50,000 people that were laying on top of each other. It was just an incredible moment. All done, and now I'm sitting up on the back of my truck, and I notice a woman in hospital gown coming out of the field hospital that was set up there. I asked her what she did, and she said she was a doctor. And then she asked me what I did, and I told her about the fuel and fixing the light stand. And she said, "You don't know how many rapes you may have prevented tonight by providing that light." Doesn't get any better than that. We had $30,000 or $50,000 to go to Ecuador, our first trip. And we recognized that everybody in that country cooks with a 15-gallon propane tank. Well, you do the math. With $30,000, you buy 15,000 propane tanks, and that propane tank cooks and boils and everything for a family of 4 for a month. We just helped 60,000 people with $30,000. We talk about, just a tanker of diesel, how many people, that would maybe touch. Let's say we only have 4,000 gallons on that stuff. I would probably be able to keep a few hospitals going, water treatment plant, and now that water treatment plant is going to run for a week, providing water for 15 to 100,000 people. The World Food Program, they're loaded with food and they're ready to go, but they can't make the deliveries because they have no fuel. In the Philippines, we had every international, Save the Children, the Red Cross, the United Nations, the World Food Program, UNICEF. Do the multiplication, it's hundreds of thousands of people that, had they not had the fuel, eventually they would, but is it 2 days later? Is it a week later? Now, Fuel Relief Fund isn't the first on the ground providing fuel. We're the only ones on the ground providing free fuel. It doesn't take much, but it takes everybody giving a little bit.
United Nations now calls on Fuel Relief Fund to help with fuel needs in countries where there are the disasters.
Fuel Relief Fund is truly an international organization recognized by the United Nations to the point that we've proven ourselves in the field.
As the Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, see the Fuel Relief Fund providing an essential component of the response by providing fuel and other commodities that enable the humanitarian agencies delivering in the last mile.
I remember one conversation I had with the UN where they said, the best part about fuel relief is that you guys are nimble and quick, and so retain your nimble and quick.
So when we get into country, we are able to acquire transportation, the drivers. With 3 people, we're able to have multiple trucks delivering fuel, utilizing the resources in that country. Most of the time, they even donate that service because that fuel company wants to be part of the process.
honestly, it was an opportunity for our industry to give back, and it was just a great idea, and has grown, over time into something that I think is really special.
Our family has always grown up, helping charitable organizations and those that had a need. When we saw Fuel Relief Fund and the work they were doing overseas and helping those countries that were having fuel crisis after their natural disasters, it was kind of a natural fit, providing them some of the finances so they could carry out the worthwhile mission that they were doing. Putting the word out to your employees, letting them know what you're doing as a company and how you're impacting those that are less fortunate on a worldwide basis.
It's important for employees like myself here to be able to have the opportunity to serve. And when I look at a place like Fuel Relief Fund, I can see that their mission is not just to go out and supply fuel. Their mission is to effectively change lives. That's what touches my heart.
So we need people to participate with us. We need people to get on board, whether it be major oil companies or individuals. We all come to work every day and do the same things, but when you can give back, and especially with the expertise you have and what you do every day, it makes a big difference.